Hello everybody, welcome back. We're about to start some Aurora 4X. We're going to continue with our 1.8.0 campaign. I played a bit off camera, I think, since the last stream. Not 100% sure, so what we're going to do, I think, is we're going to go through and take a look at the situation together, get everybody caught up to speed, including myself, because it's been probably a day or so. Let's pour ourselves a cup of coffee. Here we go. From my handy thermos. Okay. So, it is December 1st, 2039. This is what the known galaxy looks like so far. Here's Sol. We've got the East, which starts with Tokyo, Managua, Lima, and then it branches out between Taipei and Banjul. If we look at what's going on here, so there are, in the display settings here, you can turn on a lot of things like, are there low cost colony worlds, right? So the problem is that there are plenty of low cost colony worlds. They're not all worth colonizing, so I don't find that to be particularly useful. At least at this point. Right now, in terms of survey, what concerns me is, have I done the geo survey? So that's what the percentage numbers here represent, the percentage of bodies that have been, who've had their geo surveys. And then the orange ring, let's go back to overview. The orange ring represents an unexplored jump point, and the red ring just means we haven't finished the grav survey yet. So we can see that through the east here, the only potential, like all the grav surveys done, except there are 2 more unexplored jump points out of Banjul. And we've actually stabilized this whole branch. We have 3 stabilization ships in total. So one of them just kind of did this. What do we have here? We've got, in fact, it's probably heading home right now. Let's make sure it's heading home. Yeah, it's just heading home. Okay, let's take a look at the eastern arm here. We have the Tokyo system, which, these are colonizable planets for sure. We've got a hydrosphere. Like, this is doable, but there are no minerals on these planets, so they're not really a priority early on. Elsewhere in the system, we've got a comet, not a lot. A thorium gas giant with not a lot of gas, not very accessible gas. There's just nothing really in the Tokyo system that's interesting. In Managua, it's potentially more interesting, but the accessibility here is pretty low on all of these minerals. And that's it's either low accessibility or low quantities of minerals. So unfortunately, this is also not a great target for colonization. And also, this is a dwarf planet, but it's low gravity, so that gets funky. So less interesting. Moving on, we have the Lima system. Now here's where we've set up our first colony in the east, in the eastern branch. So there are only 3 planets. They all have minerals. Lima 1 has decent accessibility to uranium and mercasium and solid thorium. Lima 2 has decent accessibility for titanium and vendorite, though the total amount is not that high. And then Lima 3 has good uranium and vendorite, and then just other stuff. And so we've decided to colonize this one first, simply because it would be a little bit easier to terraform. So yeah, so we've started a colony here. Now on the colony itself, we have, I don't think terraformers are there yet. We've just got some, in fact, this one was really just set up. So all we have is a little bit of infrastructure. I think we have a garrison there, a ground unit. Yeah, we've got 2 garrisons there. So that's taken care of. Okay, so that's the Lima system. In Taipei, we haven't done the geological survey yet. So, there are potentially some interesting, bodies here. So I'll be curious to see what the geological survey says. And in Banjul, a quaternary system. Now, if you see here, the 2 main stars are A and B, and then C orbits A and D orbits B. But A and B are not too far apart, so all of these are accessible. Unfortunately, there are 4 stars, but only 1 planet. So we'll have to do a survey and see what's on it. It's a dwarf planet, so the quantities won't be enormous, but we might have high accessibility, so you never know. And then we'll have to explore these jump points out of Banjul. Okay, so that's the eastern branch. In the western branch, we have the Yeren system. A lot of low gravity, but not too cold planets. But in terms of minerals, not much. Some uridium here, I guess. Although we could do a geosurvey, a ground geosurvey, to see if there's anything more. And then comets. So, there are places to colonize just for people, like this terrestrial here, Yeren 3. But not a priority because of the lack of minerals. Now, we've stabilized out to Elayun because here we did have some interesting planets. So we have a gas giant, which has decent accessibility sorium, so we can have sort of a local fuel production. And then we have Elayun 2, which has nice deposits of corundium and tritanium, and honestly, the mercasium and vendrite aren't bad either. And it was a pretty low colony cost planet, although it's really, really hot. So I don't know if we're going to be able to cool it down enough, but we'll do our best. So that is that. Now, beyond that, we have the Singapore system, which has a binary, which is not too far away, but there are no bodies around the second star, so it doesn't matter. The primary has a planet here with pretty epic quantities of minerals, but really small, really low accessibility. So yeah, I don't know. Actually, hang on. Why does it say the colony cost is not applicable? The terrain is a swamp, liquid. Is it gravity? I think we can handle... This is a massive swamp planet, which is really cool as a concept. What is our... Yeah, we can't handle 2 Gs. We can only go up to 1.9 G. That's why we can't colonize it. Okay, so that's it for Singapore. And we're still kind of surveying these other systems. We have Majuro here, which actually seems to have... well, let's take a look here at these systems, at these planets. So, not much here. I don't remember this survey here. Neutronium and corbamite. Tritanium, but a bit too heavy. Yeah. Do we have... Okay, got good gas. So we're still working on the geo-survey here. There's potential here, but these planets that have minerals would take a lot of terraforming effort, so I'm not sure we're going to prioritize colonizing these anytime soon. And the Manila system, let's see, we've got M3. Again, these quantities are ridiculous, but the accessibility is pretty low. Now, this one's a bit too heavy to colonize. We'd have to put auto mines. Currently, I don't think genetic engineering is implemented in the game. Although I'm not sure if that's only for the military aspect of it. I have to double check. I just remember reading that quickly. Now this is an interesting dwarf planet. Not huge amounts, but very high accessibility, especially for neutronium. Wouldn't be too hard to terraform. All right, not bad. Now Manila, we've got a gas giant. Okay, not a lot of thorium. A large moon, decent minerals. Very high accessibility minerals on some of these moons. And a comet here at the end. So we haven't finished the survey. It looks like there's a lot of pretty high accessibility minerals on some of these moons. It could be worth colonizing this in the future. Anyways, that's it for the western arm. So we've got a colony set up on El Ayun. And which we've already started terraforming, by the way. Now, to the north, we have Georgetown. Now, Georgetown is the first system that we colonized, and in fact, we've already terraformed the moon, the fourth moon of Georgetown 5. Because it has nice corundium deposits and duranium deposits, so it's nice to secure a bunch of corundium, because you need that for mines. And we've already terraformed it, or almost terraformed it. I think we're only waiting for water to precipitate out of the atmosphere. Let me double check that. Georgetown environment. Yeah, we've got water vapor still. We're very actually, we might need to add a bit more water vapor. Let me double check that. Okay, the terraforming bases are still there. And I think we were waiting. I don't know why we didn't do this. Let's, yeah, we have the capacity here. Maybe I didn't want to add too much water. But let's go ahead and pump a little bit more water vapor in the atmosphere. I guess we were short. So let's, so the water, oh no, wait, the water vapor is, yeah, that's right. The water vapor is almost non-existent. So let's add like 0.05 ATM. Should be enough to get us to 20%. Okay. Meanwhile, but there are other colonies of interest here in the Georgetown system. So we've got the other interterrestrial planets. Nice uranium deposits, nice gallicite deposits, potential for a survey here. And here we've got some moons. You can see I've actually marked this moon here as my next potential colony location because we have nice solid thorium deposits and solid titanium deposits. We've got another moon here with a lot of iridium. So there are a lot of really nice colonies here. Nice potential colony sites. Dwarf planet out here with pretty high accessibility of a bunch of different minerals. And we've got a bunch of comets. So a really nice system in the long run as it gets developed. I pegged this one as our next colony because of the thorium. So this would give this system sort of an independent source of thorium because there aren't really any gas giants here. But this would, we could just set up like some thorium refining here, and then this would kind of be a self-sufficient system in that regard. So that's Georgetown. Now, if we go east from Georgetown, we have Port Vila. Nothing much really going on in this system. Quite forgettable. And then, but there's still an unexplored jump point, which I have forgotten about. Then we have Ankara, which we haven't really surveyed. Not a lot of easily colonizable planets, though, so we'll have to see what comes out of that. We've got an empty system here in Pahlavi. Then we've got Budapest. Budapest has some duranium, and this colony here with titanium and thorium and low accessibility of other stuff. But it's kind of a Venusian planet, so it'll be a lot of work. Not sure if it'll be worth the reward. In Canberra, looks like we did the geological survey, and it was disappointing, except for some comets. All right, and then north here we have the Battlecruiser system with the terrestrial, kind of average but generally low accessibility minerals. But you know, it's got a ruined outpost actually, so it could be interesting to see what's there. Like this would be pretty easy to colonize. So this could be a nice colony. It happens to have all the minerals, so that's nice. So long term, this would be really nice. And Colombo, not really colonizable for a lot of these planets, and the deposits are pretty average. Although this dwarf planet here has decent accessibility and decent numbers, but it's low gravity, so a little awkward. Kind of average gas giant, super Jovian, terrestrial with, oh yeah, this terrestrial has exactly 100 million tons of corbamite. That's kind of odd. Anyway, so those are all the systems we have scouted. Let me take a quick look at what our Aldebaran class survey ships are doing. In fact, what they really need to be doing is heading home, because we're going to refit them. We have just developed ion engines, and so we want these guys to head back home and get refit. But this one just got started on its journey, so it can stay out for a little bit longer. Now the Aldebaran 3 has been just parked here for a while. Now, is there a reason for that? Maybe it's got a broken jump drive or something and we're waiting to escort it home? Yes, that is correct. So it's in Budapest. No, it's at the jump point in Budapest. Yeah, it's here. Okay. So it is waiting, I believe, for the Aldebaran 8. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so the Aldebaran 8 is going to transit here to Budapest and then go on the jump point to escort the Aldebaran 3 home. That's what's happening there. What about the Aldebaran 4? Oh, it is already being escorted home. In fact, they're almost home, so great news. In fact, I don't know why I don't have the orders here, but let's have, let's just order that. The Aldebaran 5 is just orbiting Earth. It might be in refits. We'll check the shipyard. Aldebaran 6 is doing a grav survey. Kind of needs to head home. We'll let it finish its grav survey and then we'll send it home after. The Aldebaran 7 is in overhaul. And the Aldebaran 8 we just looked at, it is helping us save the Aldebaran 3. So that's it for my survey ships. We have a total of 6 terraforming bases. Our problem there is that we only have 2 tugs and they're very slow, so we're building some new bigger tugs. Let's look at the shipyard tasks. Oh, we built the 2 big tugs, I guess. Oh no, we are retooling the shipyard to build the tugs, and that's still going to take a while. So in the meantime, we only have these 2 small tugs that they're fine for in trestle jobs, but when you got to move something to another star system like 10 billion kilometers away, it's a bit of a pain. Now, I believe we are currently working on terraforming Luna with 2 of these terraforming stations. Yeah, that's right. And we have 2 stations out in Georgetown, but they're kind of not really doing much. And then we've got 2 stations working on El Ayun. So what's the industry on Earth up to? Let's just double check. We're making another commercial shipyard. So what was our plan here with these commercial shipyards? So I've been expanding the slipyard capacity for the freighters, but now we need to retool to the Callisto Ion. The Callisto is my colony ship, so this shipyard works for both the colony ships and the freighters, which are the Deneb class. So we have to retool to the Callisto Ion class, and then we're going to be able to upgrade our freighters and colony ships and whatnot. So that shouldn't take too long. This shipyard we bumped up to 50,000 tons so that it can make these much larger tugs, and we're going to pump out a couple of them. Now this shipyard is at 61,000 tons. It was building our stabilization ships. What I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to refit them to ion drives, although that doesn't really make a big difference. And later we might bump up the capacity here and make some asteroid mining ships. Yeah, that might be the plan. Now, in terms of our military, we were just finishing the last few techs that we needed to make our first battlecruiser designs. Yeah, so that's kind of incoming. So I guess those are things that we'll be doing soon. Now, I wonder why, have I redesigned the laser frigates yet? Or not? This is the Polaris here. Because we have ion drives now. So let's start working on this. So here we had 2 nuclear pulse engines. So this would be the change, right? Now, the original ship went at 5,600 kilometers per second. This one now goes 8,750, which is really cool, really fast. However, we're going to need to update the tracking speed of the beam fire control. Now, this beam fire control, let's take a look at this component here. Is 190 size. And we can't really fit more stuff, so let's see what we can put together with our current technology. Beam fire control. Now, we wanted to have long range, yeah, and I said 8750, right? Yeah, we need like 100 more or 110 more tons. So we need better tech somewhere. We need to lose some weight somewhere. Hi, Boris D. Says, found any aliens yet? Nope, not yet. Not in this galaxy. All right, are we researching better sensor tech? No. So can we do anything? Can we lose weight somewhere? Sorry, I got these notifications popping up. We could hope that lower... Well, armor isn't going to save us a lot of weight. I'll have to think about this. What is our next armor tech? We should definitely get composite armor. We're gonna make ships with ion drives. Okay, let's try. We'll wait for an opportunity here. Yeah, we'll wait for a bit of an opportunity. But okay, anyway, so that is that. In terms of our colonies, so in the Sol system, we've colonized Mars, which is completely terraformed. Mars has no minerals. We've colonized Luna, which we've just started terraforming. It has a bit of minerals. It's got some bornite and some titanium. We've colonized Callisto, which has some solid sorium. And we haven't yet started terraforming it at all. And Morris Company is Europa. Now, this was weird because there was a civilian company that set up shop here on Europa. And then I wanted to colonize it as well, but I couldn't just create a new colony on Europa. It kind of always defaulted to this one. So we just added our own people to this colony, and now I think it's our colony. I think we got their stuff. It's a little funky. This is not how, I've never experienced this before in the game. In early C# versions, I did have these kind of dual colony setups where we had our own Imperial colony and there was a civilian colony running in parallel. I don't know. In mining here, we still have the option to tax it or to purchase the minerals, but I don't know what's going to happen when we add our own I don't know what's going to happen when we add our own mines here. So, so we'll see. We'll see how this ends up behaving. We briefly colonized Mercury because there were some alien ruins there. So we went and explored all the ruins. We recovered some infrastructure, some minerals, some fuel, some installations, and we got them off the planet, and then we shut down the colony on Mercury. So that's what's going on in the Sol system, and I think that pretty much brings us up to speed. Cliff, you mentioned a few things. I think we're talking about Polaris here. Oh yeah, that's interesting. So in the original Polaris, my MSP is fine for max repair. But when I switch this over to the new ion drives, they appear to be more complicated. And so this is an issue here with the MSP not being enough. So we do have to maybe do some tweaks to this design. Yeah, we'll think about how we're gonna tweak those. So actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add ship slipways here, and because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the tech done for the Battlecruisers to get those underway, and then we'll come back and we'll revisit the Polaris later. Okay, I'm gonna start clicking to move forward here in time, and let's get going. Murtek asks, was this a conventional start? No, it was not. Although I like conventional starts, I prefer them. But currently the game is sort of undergoing rapid development and patching, and often the patches break the saves. So, if I spend a day in real life or, 5-10 hours getting up to the basic spacefaring age, right? Getting NPE tech roughly, right? And setting up all that. And then there's a new patch where I have to restart the game. I don't want to replay that part of the game over and over. Once the game and the development cycle has stabilized a little bit, I think I'll start a more epic campaign with a conventional start. So we started TN roughly with NPE techs. Okay, I've got a few messages. We do have a fuel harvesting base, which is over here, and it is orbiting Saturn. Now, Saturn is a pretty garbage gas giant. It's the only one we have, though, but low accessibility. So we're going to tow this fuel harvesting base somewhere else, but in the meantime, it is there. So what we need to do now is take these tankers and just go to Saturn. Refuel from stationary tankers, and then back to Earth and transfer fuel to colony. So let's just queue that order. And then we finished research into a component, an active search sensor. This is for my Battlecruisers. Okay, the Aldebaran 1. Oh, it's breaking up, but it's almost home, so that's good. We have finished the North Star class, which is our jump stabilization, has finished refitting, but we don't have any of the ships there. Where are these ships? Are they still out working? I think most of them are heading home. Okay, North Star 1, still working. Venus. Okay, they're just doing stuff, so they can just chill for now. Okay, we have overhauled the Aldebaran 5 and 7 have finished their refits. So they are now good to go. In fact, let me show you the difference here between these two designs. So the original Aldebaran. Oh, well, let's show the obsolete. So this was the original survey ship with NPE engines. What we've done with the ion drives is we've cut down from 3 500-ton engines to 2 500-ton engines, which gives us this basically the same speed. In fact, we go faster. But that's freed up 500 tons, which we've mainly used to double the number of sensors. So now the original only had 1 geo, 1 grav. Now we've got 2 geos and 2 grav. The deployment time is still 5 years. We still basically have a 5-year mission. And the fuel range is increased slightly. So basically, it's a very similar ship. It just surveys things twice as fast. Minuteman Zero says the stockpile is still 0 for that CMC colony. Yeah. So it does appear that these, that the civilian mines here are operating in a civilian fashion. Now, actually here, this would be a cool little test to do. Let's just set something up really quickly here. I've got on Earth some random automated mines because the TN start gives you automated mines. So let's supply $10, and then let's demand 10 here. We'll have the civilian freighters bring them over. And let's see if this produces something in the stockpile or out of the stockpile. We're gonna discover things together here. Okay, we need to reassign shipyards. That is to say, we need to tell this shipyard to refit more stuff. Oh, we're still waiting for 2 Aldebarans to get into orbit, so that's fine. We'll wait for them. Now, the 5 and 7 we can send out to do stuff. Now, what do I want to do? What's my priority? I think we have to send like one to get the jump point here from Port Vila. That seems like the closest to Seoul. Let's do that. with one of them. And then the other maybe goes out to Banjul. We don't have any, or maybe we do a geo survey in like Taipei. Let's do that. So let's take the Aldebaran 5, and we're going to send it to Port Vila through the unexplored jump gate, and then we'll send the 7 down to Taipei. Oh, it's still undergoing overhaul. I see. But the 5 was done its overhaul, right? Question mark? Yeah. Okay, so we'll wait for the 7 to finish its overhaul. Okay, and we also produced another commercial shipyard. Now, what was I needing this for? I probably need... This is probably replacing my tankers. Is what I was thinking with this additional shipyard. Okay, what are we going to do with our construction capacity? We built a bunch of installations that are needed for the colonies. Those are kind of built already. We're going to queue up another fuel harvesting station here. Okay, the Aldebaran 8 has made its way to the other side of the jump point from the Aldebaran 3, so we should be able to transit now. Good. Now, you should be able to, yeah, I could have queued this up, but join the fleet. And then, let's just make sure everything happens, and then we can take the Aldebaran 8 and have it head home. Yes, Cliff S mentions that now we can stabilize jump points in systems, and if you're lucky, that can really shorten the transit time. Now, I've actually checked this, and it doesn't help on these current arms right now. So, for example, if we look at the Tokyo system, just to pick one as an example, right, we're transiting mostly from Seoul onwards to Managua, and it's a small system. So we don't even go, like, stabilizing this isn't going to help shorten the distance at all. This is just empty space. And even if we go on to Managua, right, we come out of Tokyo and we want to go to Lima out here. So there isn't a big body in this asteroid field that we can stabilize that's going to help shorten this jump distance. And so that's the case in most of the systems. However, in the Sol system, I have stabilized Earth's Lagrange point, and we're also working on Venus's. And that sometimes does help because it just depends on the orbit positions. But as you can see, like Neptune's Lagrange point is out here. That's closer to Yaren than going straight from the inner system out to Yaren. So that does save some time. And then currently, Uranus is out here. It's not really helping, and Saturn is here. Where's Jupiter? Yeah, Jupiter's here. But Jupiter and Saturn have like 11-year orbits, stuff like that. So these Lagrange points will come into play later. So that can help. That can definitely help. Okay, we finished some research. We were doing wrapping up some missile research and some missile fire controls. I mentioned I wanted to get composite armor, so let's get that queued up. Okay, we have, oh, this is something I didn't really look at. A bit of a mess that I've got to sort out, but the cargo fleets and what they are doing and which ones we will refit first. So, what are these tugs doing? They're not doing anything because they were in... Oh, we just moved the terraformers to Luna. So you know what? They can go to Georgetown and do something useful with their lives. Let me just check quickly how Georgetown is doing with the with the water. Yeah, looking good. Okay, I think... Well, we'll stop the water vapor soon. We can have a bit more than 20% hydro extent. But let's send the tugs there. And now, let's take a look at what these freighters are doing. Okay, what is Cargo North doing? Oh, apparently Cargo North is actually sending infrastructure from Mars to the Jovians, which is fine. But Cargo North was originally going to Georgetown, so we don't need that to be doing that right now. Or we can do that, but we're going to rename you Cargo Jovian. Okay, what is Cargo East doing? Hey folks, sorry. Had to take care of something real quick in real life. Let me catch up with the chat. You guys have been busy. Okay. Okay, Cliff says, I have a system with a distant binary. Yes, I think I do. Or maybe it was a previous game, honestly, I don't remember. But yeah, if you have a distant binary with a massive enough body around it, then you can use the stabilization to make that accessible. Forrest D says, so I just shot an alien military ship and it decided it had enough and joined my fleet. Okay. Joaquim Tobiasen says, talks about ruins with not-so-dead inhabitants. Yeah, that was in VB Aurora also. When you explored alien ruins, sometimes they could have like old dead robots or stuff like that. So you gotta have some ground troops present with your xenoarchaeology, with the xenoarchaeology troops. Okay, and then just reading through. So in terms of bombarding the ground troops, the only way to be precise about it is to have your own ground troops on the ground with forward fire direction elements to tell the orbiting ships where to shoot. Otherwise, you're just basically doing indiscriminate destruction. Okay. All right, what was I doing, guys? We were trying to sort out what the hell is going on with our cargo fleets. So, Cargo East is sending installations to Lima. That's fine. I can continue. Cargo Jovian, we talked about. What's Cargo Special doing? Oh, yeah, it's moving like the special installations around, so we'll let it keep doing its job. Now, Cargo West seems a little anemic in terms of size. It's sending infrastructure, but the truth is we're already terraforming El Ayun, so the need for infrastructure isn't so great. And to be honest, this isn't a lot of cargo ships anyways. So what we're going to do is we're going to close this. I'm going to have it go back to Earth, of course, refuel, and then stay there. Okay, and where is the colony ship sending people? Oh, we were just like moving people to Georgetown to encourage that the growth of that planet, which I'm fine with. But what I want to do is I want to refit all these ships to ion drive. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove these last orders, have it back at Earth. Now we've got some freighters already built in the shipyard that we can start refitting. So let's get started with those orders. And we can do, we're going to do auto refit Deneb to Deneb ion. Go. And you know what? We're just going to add slipways. Because the more, the merrier. If we can move people faster to these new terraform colonies, that'll be great. Okay. Oh, I actually hit like go, which is not quite what I meant to do, but sure. Let's see what happened. We're good to go. Terraforming at Georgetown is complete. Oh, we were adding a bit of water vapor here. So this should be, well, the water still needs to precipitate out of the atmosphere, but I think we've got enough. Yeah, we have enough. So let's make sure we set this to none. And we're good to go here. Hey Devin, thanks. And he says, can't stay, just wanted to say that I enjoy your vids. Well, I am glad you do, and that's why I put him out there. I find it's more fun kind of randomly talking while I play than not. Well, right now we've got like 13 people watching, which is awesome. That's what it's saying, but sometimes there's nobody or one or two people. I don't mind. People can catch up later if they want. Also, what I like is like this kind of game, these kind of streams, like it can be sort of long. There can be some sort of quiet parts, but if you're playing back in the future on YouTube, you can increase the playback speed, so you can kind of zip through it at like 2 times speed. Because it's like I'm playing for a few hours at a time. You don't always need to pay a lot of attention. You can have it running in the background, and then if there's a section that interests you, you can bring it back down to normal speed. So that's something I like to do for these types of games if I watch other people do it, where it's kind of a slow, passive commentary. Also, by the way, like right now, I'm kind of playing this campaign in a very in a more meta gamey type of way. The way I like to play this game is much more in a role-playing way and designing a campaign, right, with an idea about what the civilization is going to try to accomplish. Right now, I'm just trying to experience all the new content in C#, so we're kind of going about it in a very metagamey kind of way. Okay, the tankers finished their mission. They unloaded the fuel at Earth. Good. The tugs have made it to Georgetown. Good. What I would like these guys to do is take the terraforming bases that are here and move them to this other colony. And that reminds me that we need to probably assign governors to that new colony. So let's assign this person here to Georgetown 7 Moon 6. And then let's just assign like a population growth governor to Georgetown. Okay, speaking of terraforming, on Luna we got our oxygen to the level that we need. We don't really need to use astucium to warm the place up. It's almost warm enough, so we could just use nitrogen. So let's... So right now we need nitrogen and water. I'm going to do the water first, or some water first, so that it can precipitate out, because that's kind of slower. So let's do that. And later we'll add the rest of the gas that we need. Okay, I built a fire control. I think that was for the missiles. Or we researched, sorry, a fire control. That was for the missiles. What are we missing here? Oh, I'm missing like a magazine. That's for sure. So let's take a look here. Did I start putting this together? Not really. We put the ion drives. We've got the search sensor. This search sensor doesn't make sense. resolution 200. Oh, I guess this is just the small. No, size 5. Yeah, this is just the tiny, like, look outside the window search sensor. This is the active search sensor to find missiles pretty far out. And then this is the missile fire control to go with it. Now, I think we are also going to have area PD with laser turrets. So, do we have a beam fire control on the way for that? We do. I like also the idea of having a redundant sensor for missiles that are close in. Now, let's just put that together real quick. So this is like a resolution 1 search sensor. So it's a sensor for missiles, but like just really at the last minute, like just being able to detect the missiles right before they hit. So sensor size. Let's give ourselves like 0.5. Just to have a backup. Now we have the beam fire control for the lasers, a sensor for the lasers. Okay, we're good on sensors for that ship. We're going to have composite armor. We have the missile tubes. Do we have the actual guns? We have the lasers, I think. Lasers. We have the turret. Okay. Do we have the power plant? Probably not, because we weren't sure. Yeah, this is for the frigate. We weren't sure how many we would need. Oh, that's where we could. Well, we could save a tiny bit of space because we have better power plant technology. Tiny little bit of space. So we could do this. No, we have to design it first. Because now we have gas-cooled reactors. So we could save a tiny bit of space. Not a lot. There. Okay, we'll get that done. Let's start putting things on this ship. So new subscriber, thank you very much. Beam fire control, tracking speed. We definitely... Yeah, we don't need this fire control. We need this fire control. In fact, we're going to have dual fire controls. Let's get some, just for the heck of it, let's put some... some of these laser turrets on here. I've already put 20 size 1 missile launchers. Now missile fire controls. Let's just have redundant missile fire controls. We got passive thermals. We're definitely going to need a bunch of armor on these guys. So, all right, we're still missing a couple of things, but this is kind of what this ship is going to look like. We need power plants. Let me just make sure I have the right. Yeah, we'll have some backup sensors. We got fire control. We got the missile fire control. We got the beam fire control. This is kind of what the ship is going to look like. But let's wrap up the last bit of tech that we need. Oh, we got that little power plant done. I want to... Well, we're going to get this new armor for sure. Okay, if I'm looking at... Let's say that because I think I'm going to want to add more stuff. So let's say we can't fit 4. Let's say we have 3 quad turrets. Each of these turrets takes 12 power, right? Let's double check that. So it's a quad turret. It's using these lasers. Yeah, so we need to, and we need 36 power per second. So let's design a power plant for that. Now, if I go 3.75, I just have one massive power plant for everything. But if I split it into 2 power plants for redundancy, 2.35, so we would be at 4.7 instead of 3.7. So that's one more hull size for the extra redundancy. I like the idea of redundancy, so we are going to do that. And it's only one hull size, which is not the end of the world. So let's queue that up. Okay, the tugs finished moving those terraformers, but I keep getting messages for the... Okay, we're almost home. Oh no, because the speed is 1 kilometers per second, because the Aldebaran 1 must have lost its engines. That is what's going on. Oh no. Alright, so this is like catastrophically failing here. Lost all of its engines, the jump drive, and everything. Okay, but we are in the Sol system. Excuse me, I have to... Oh, got the mute button just in time there. Yeah. Okay, this ship is in bad shape. Now, we have tugs, but they're in the Georgetown system. Let's... How long will it take you? Oh, no. It'll take a year to get back. Guys, we have a problem. Yeah, I know, right? Well, I'm getting more tugs, just that these tugs were slow. Okay, Oh no! This is wrong. What? Because their speed is set... No, that's why. Look at their speed. See, this is why. This is why. Okay, tugs. Set speed. Like their speed should be max. That didn't do anything. Odd. Use maximum speed, please. Okay, I'm just going to queue up this order. It might just... because the speed was probably slow because it just released the terraforming basis. This might update in the next time increment, so I'm not going to stress too much about it. I think the tugs can make it in far less than a year. They shouldn't be that slow. So let's hope that works. Always a great way to do space exploration. Now, we're going to detach this and let it chill in the Sol system while the tugs come to pick it up. Meanwhile, Aldebaran 4, which was just escorting it, you can actually finally go back to Earth and get refit and all that. Good stuff. Now, let me just go forward in time 5 days. Oh, wait, no. So let's also not forget that we have terraformers here. So we can start seeing what we can do on this planet. Now, it's really cold here. So I think the priority is going to have to be warming things up a bit. So let's just add... we're going to need at least an atmosphere of Vestusium. So let's get to work on that. Okay. Now, what... tugs. Give me some good news. Yes. Okay. 9 days to get to Sol. That is much better. Okay, so once you get to Sol, then you are going to go to the Aldebaran 1, and we're going to tractor it to Earth. 30 days. Good. Okay, I think... well, I mean, the ship might blow up in 30 days, but hopefully it doesn't. Yeah, maybe it was just refreshing the window, but anyways, moving forward in time worked. I don't yet have MSP cargo ships, but that is an excellent... that is something I do need. And we're in fact going to need another commercial shipyard for that ship design. So let's queue that up for later. Okay, the Aldebaran 4 is back home. We can at the very least start refitting it. Okay, we are so close to starting to build our big tugs, which is very exciting. All right, let's do it now. Get 2 of these tugs underway. How long is it going to take to build these? Until February 42, and it is May 40, so about 1.5 years. Okay. And research completed on a reactor. Right. The reactor that I would need for the PD guns here. So power plant, 2 of these. Okay, we're just slowly adding all the components that we need. We're going to need a magazine to hold these missiles. I don't know yet what kind of capacity I'm going to want. So that's why I was holding off on making the magazines themselves. Let's wait until we see what kind of space we have available to play with. And I probably forgot to queue up. Yeah. Let's get this armor done as fast as we can. Okay, we have some freighters. that made it back to Earth that we had told to come back to Earth earlier to wait to be refit. Okay, research into auxiliary control is done, and that's good because that's also something I wanted to add to this ship, just for fun. This allows you to have an XO on board the ship. And these are larger ships, so I feel like we might want to have more leadership on board each one. Oh, Aldebaran 7 is complaining about... Oh, it finished its maintenance, its overhaul. Right. We wanted to send it down to Taipei to do the geo survey. Okay, the graph survey has been completed in Manila, which is out here. How's this ship doing? I'd like it to do the geo survey, but... Oh no, the geo survey is also done. Oh, mostly done. But you know what? You're getting on in years. It is time to head home. We don't want to have another, emergency situation. Let's have you head back home and overhaul. The tugs have completed their orders. They are orbiting Earth, which means we can tell this shipyard to repair the Aldebaran 1. And let's also have the Aldebaran 1 just be at Earth and refuel, resupply. Orders can't be assigned to a fleet which contains ships. Oh, okay, fine. Well, just then what do I want to do first? We need to repair first. We need to repair the... It won't break more because now we have maintenance facilities. Speaking of which... Yeah, we got plenty of maintenance. Okay. All right, now what do I need to tell my tugs to do? They're actually... Oh, I know what we can do. We need to move the fuel harvesters somewhere useful. So I think we have the one that's around Saturn that is honestly doing not much. Did I build a second one? Let's take a quick look here. Fuel harvesting base. Yeah, I do have a second one. Where's the second one? Oh, it's just orbiting Earth. Okay, this is perfect. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to move these with the super slow tugs out to El Ayun? Yes, out to this gas giant. Let's do that. All right, tugs. So first, fleet, space station. Get this one. Then go out to Saturn. Get that one. Then head out to El Ayun and go to El Ayun 1 and release the tractored ships there. Fantastic. Joe Holland says, help, I need more monitors to play this game. Yeah, I play on two. Well, for now, the only reason is because Steve hasn't yet implemented the events showing up in the main window. Normally they would show up here. So I have my events window up on another monitor. But otherwise, it's fine, right? You could actually play it on one monitor. You do get a bunch of, because the windows don't really close automatically, so I just wait for them to pile up a bit, and then I just do this and delete all the windows. So yeah, you kind of don't need them all open at the same time. A North Star ship has made it home, so let's refit it. And Cliff S asks, are you going to make a training command for the military ships? I already have. You can see here that I have a flight school command, which is headed by somebody who has a high flight training. And so you see that the ships have been slowly training all this time, and some of them are already fully trained. So yes, I did set that up a while ago. Okay, Aldebaran 8 has reached Earth, but our slipways are currently busy repairing and refitting other ships. So, we could add another slipway. Let's do it. Colony Fleet is back at Earth. How are we doing, actually, on the refit for these guys? Not bad. Okay, we're getting there. New system discovered. The Funafuti system has been discovered. This is the system that... Oh, it put Funafuti on top of Seoul. That's a little awkward. Let's... you know what we're going to do? We're going to move Budapest over here. And Canberra. And then we can do... No, not Seoul. We'll move Funafuti like this. So let's do that. Kind of fix the grid a little bit. Come on. All right, there we go. So rearrange the map a little bit. Okay, it's an empty system, so you can just do your grav survey. Okay, we refit a bunch of freighters, and we've automatically started the refit of a new bunch of freighters, so that's excellent. So that means I do have a bunch of refit freighters. They would be the 22, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Yeah. So these 5 freighters can be... I can go and have them do stuff. Now, what is the most important thing I need to be doing right now in terms of moving stuff around? I could definitely move the infrastructure off of Georgetown 5. How much infrastructure do we have left on Mars? Oh, it's almost gone. That's good. Luna is going to have a bunch of infrastructure left over. Why don't we do that? Let's at least create this fleet again. So let's detach this one. Close these up. The 2, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. Yep. Okay, let's rename this. This will be the new cargo Georgetown. All right, so you can go to Georgetown. Actually, I'll just have you go to Georgetown first, and then we'll give you new orders once you get there. Excellent. Discovered a jump point here. Exciting. Okay. Cargo fleet made it there. So what we're going to do here is just load installation. Oh, it needs to know, wait, what other installations do we have here? Oh, load infrastructure. And unload all installations. And just do that for a while. Okay, we added shipyard capacity to a commercial shipyard here. And this is going to replace, this is a new shipyard to make, I've got a few civilian 20,000 ton designs, including my tankers. So we need to get more tankers made. I've already redesigned them to use the ion engines. So let's retool. This for, Kappa, I remember. Do that. Now we should be able to refit, because I've got a couple of tankers already. I might as well refit the existing ones. And where are the other tankers? Like Kappa 2. Oh, because there's only one slipway. That's why. Okay, let's just let that happen. Actually, we might as well. Let's be generous here with the slipways. Let's add another slipway here. Actually, we're kind of tight on workers. One thing we could start thinking about doing is we could move the financial centers off-world. We could move labs off-world. So those are all things we could consider doing. And in fact, probably things we will do. We could do that. Well, let's do it when we have some a fresh batch of freighters. Okay, the North Star 1 got refit to ion engines. Not a huge deal, but, you know, better than nothing. Why don't we go and start stabilizing stuff? Manila, like, there's potential maybe out here. Or should we head this way first? All right, let's stabilize out west to Singapore, Manila, Majuro, these places. Oh boy. GCS North Star 1. So why don't you go to El Ayun, and then you can stabilize, jump, stabilize. Let's do that for now. You can see here we're taking advantage of our intra-system jump when we're heading out to Yaren. Take a look at the Sol system. Because we're heading west, all of these guys, all of these ships, they always transit through the Neptune Lagrange point and then just instantly warp to the inner system. Okay, let me just quickly save the database here. Okay, we finished research into composite armor, which is good. Let's see now if we can... Okay, a couple of things. Let's revisit the Polaris, update the armor, see how much... We don't save a lot of mass. We also had a reactor here that we could replace, so let's do that. Power plant. We can obsolete this one. Okay. So what is it that we wanted to change here? Or did we change it already? What was... Oh, the MSP. Right. So I've got this rated for 2.5 years. I could just add engineering space. Maybe that's what we do. Like a small engineering space. That really increases the maintenance. gives us 161. That's reasonable. And then we can add a little bit of fuel. Can add another small, not quite, tiny, and some fighters. Yeah, can't quite fit that. Oh no, the whole point was the beam fire control. Sorry, I thought I had swapped out the new beam fire control already. All right, this was too easy. Oh, we didn't even research the fire control. All right, guys, we are idiots. Well, I'm an idiot. Range, yes, maximum range for our spinal, and then here we needed 8.7, roughly. I don't think we can. Well, 10 tons. Yeah, might as well go for the extra accuracy. Okay, so let's create this. We might not be able to fit 10 tons though. If we, well, no, we can always. I'd rather lose a tiny bit of fuel. Fuel you can always deal with logistics. Okay, sensors and fire control. Apparently I've got some projects here. Add this to the queue. Okay, meanwhile, what about the Battlecruiser? Update the armor. Yeah, that gave us some space. Okay. Now the fuel capacity is excessive, so we can get some. We can definitely save some space that way. I'm looking for like 15 billion kilometers effective range, roughly. I've got two. This is actually a bit of an odd number here. I've got 3 quad laser turrets with 2 beam fire controls. Maybe we can afford. We need to redo the power plants. But what if we put a 4th quad PD here? Engineering is looking great. Oh, deployment time. Well, let's see if we're like, let's just aim for 6 years. For 3 years. Yeah, okay. So capacity, right now I've got 20 size 1 missile launchers. How big is each missile fire control? $150. That's not too bad. What if we... $38 tons. All right, what kind of magazine can we put together here? What if you made something in the like 200-ton range? We're going to be pretty armored. Oh, that's weird. We can get an extra hit to kill without compromising. Oh, this doesn't really do anything. There must be some rounding issue. Let's just do like this. Here, 64. Let's create this. Let's play with these numbers. 64 is a nice multiplier of a lot of things. Flag bridge is for the other design, which we'll get to in a moment. Let's just design this magazine. Or I should say research this magazine. Okay, the North Star 3 was doing something. It's in Georgetown. What were you doing in Georgetown? Oh, you must have stabilized this. Okay. Why don't we have you head back to Earth, and we'll refit you to ion engines. Okay, we researched the magazine. So now I'm thinking, what if we bring this down to two launchers, 24, two fire controls, 24 launchers. And then as much ammo as we can, and let's tweak like the engineering and stuff like that. Oh, I've got to redesign the reactors. Right. Okay, let's do that quickly. So I had two 18s. I need two 24s. I need 48 total power. Okay, the Aldebaran 4 has finished its refit, but it still needs a bit of overhaul, so we'll let it do that. The Aldebaran 1 has been repaired. This was the ship that was in danger of blowing up. So let's have it just refuel and begin overhaul, but at the same time, now we can use the shipyard to refit the 1 and the 8 are in orbit. Excellent news. Okay, meanwhile, where are we going to send the Aldebaran 4? We're doing the geo survey down here. I think we gotta go to Singapore and check out the unexplored jump gate, I think is what we should do. So let's do that. I'll run 4. Go to Singapore. Oh, it's still... Sorry, I forgot. It's still undergoing overhaul. I had an inactive lab. Did I sign it? No, I did not. We refit a tanker. Let's do another one. And we finished the research on that new power plant for our Battlecruiser. So let's do that. Power plants, instead of 2 18s, we'll need 2 24s. And now we just need to tweak these numbers to get it to 20,000 tons. Let's make sure we have everything that we wanted. Okay, we don't. We are actually missing something. So we have an active... This is just like find ships. So we're not completely blind. Okay. No, this is... Yeah, that's right. This is a tiny sensor that just allows us to see ships before we run into them. So I'm fine with that. It doesn't take up much space. This is the large missile sensor. It detects missiles at 4 million kilometers. No, at 2 million kilometers. Sorry. Our missile fire control can shoot at 4 million kilometers, but that's... but the missiles are detected at 4 million kilometers. Okay. We have 2 beam fire controls for redundancy. They target our 4 quad laser PD turrets, which are powered by 2 power plants. We have some small passive EM and thermal sensors. We've got 2 missile fire controls that direct our 24 size 1 missile launchers. Oh, by the way, the AMMs are this design. They have a range of about 4 million. They go at 2,500, and they have a pretty decent hit to, we're at Ion Tech. They're like not terrible. Okay, let's fill up the ship with these just so we don't forget. So now, how do we get this to fit? 36. Well, I mean, okay, the Polaris is only rated to go for 2.5 years, so maybe we have to be a little less ambitious in our deployment time. What if we did that? And that. That's very close. We could shave off a tiny bit of fuel. How about that? So this is like an escort area defense battlecruiser, firing anti-missile missiles. Now, the capacity here, we've got 20. We can shoot 24 at a time. We've got a magazine of 408. And the idea would be to use these selectively. If we had some dangerous incoming salvos that we were afraid were going to overwhelm us, we could, try to shoot down a few of them at range. This isn't terrible. Okay, not terrible is going to be the motto of our Navy, apparently. So, shipyards, retool for the Betelgeuse and start building some. Now, what is this other battlecruiser going to be for? This is going to be the jump battlecruiser with a big old sensor on it, which is kind of going to be more the leader in the flag bridge and stuff like that. So, for that one, we need a jump drive. And in fact, I'm considering researching another level of jump efficiency to get extra space on the ship. Because right now, if I make a military jump drive that can jump 20,000 tons, the drive itself is 4,000 tons. If I could get another layer of efficiency, we might bring that down to 3,000 tons, give us another 1,000 tons to play with. I like that idea, to tell you the truth, so we're going to do that. Okay, we refit another batch of freighters. And I suggested they might do something. So the freighters in question were the 15 and the 16. These guys were like cargo east, I think, right? No? Cargo west. Okay, and let's get then these new ships so we can make this a task force. Oh, okay. It's the 27, the 28, and the 29 that got refit. So 27, 28, where's 29? Oh, it is refit, so why isn't it letting me... Oh, I just misclicked. Okay. So these guys are now all ion cruisers. So what are we going to do with this fleet? Let's do... Because Elayun doesn't really need more infrastructure. Or does it? What's like... How bad is the terraforming here? It's just really the temperature. This is a tiny colony, guys. We need to get... Let's move some infrastructure out west. We're going to need that as a jumping point anyways for further colonization there. So we're going to take it from Mars. We're going to go to Elayun. Unload all installation. Back to Sol. And refuel. And then just cycle these moves. Okay, now let's take that shipyard and have it refit the colony ships, of which we have exactly 5. Okay, the Aldebaran 4 completed its overhaul, and I think it is also the new class. Yeah, it's an Ion. So it's ready to go out. Now, I think we wanted to take this one to Singapore. And then go to this unexplored system. Okay, we finished something in a shipyard. Ah, the Polaris. And in fact, we're almost done. We should have all the tools we need now to fix this ship. So we needed to change the fire control. That was the whole point. Let's obsolete this component. Now we gotta slim this down a little bit. I added some engineering and stuff which we don't really need now, so let's remove that engineering space. Maybe we need like a tiny... Okay, well, we might have to trim that down. So the issue here is that we've got 40% of hull space devoted to engines, which is more than on our battlecruisers, which only have 30% of hull space devoted to engines. I could make smaller engines, but I kind of like having the extra speed on these, brawlers. But I don't have a lot of places that I can draw, mass from. Don't really see a choice. If we go with size 9 engines, we'll save 100 tons, shave off a bit of fuel maybe. All right. That's what we got to do to make that design work. Okay, these guys are tankers that we built. I should be able to refit them. do auto refit. Okay, our freighters in Georgetown have finished transferring all of the infrastructure from Georgetown 5 to Georgetown 7, which means people are starting to live here, which means we should probably get a garrison there. How are we doing on garrison troops? We need to train more, so let's do that. And then let's have this fleet, which is low on fuel. I think I have dumped some fuel on this planet, right? I have not. But there is a tanker here, right? Yep. Okay. Let's have you go here. Transfer fuel to colony. And then head back to Earth. Because you need to be redesigned anyways. Refit. And just move to Earth. And then we'll just have the cargo Georgetown. Just move to Georgetown for now. Finish your run. And then you can refuel when the tanker finishes unloading the fuel there. All right, the new ion drive is ready. Oh, that's weird. I must have used a different a different power multiplier. 'Cause yeah, I did. Oh no. All right, I'm gonna just Space Master this because I must have misclicked here. So, in order to make this relatively fuel efficient, this drive is actually not a full 200% power multiplier. So this one is, all right, it doesn't show it here, but we can figure out. Like so. All right, I used 175. And the one that I just built is size 9, but it was at 200. So I'm going to instant this because we're not going to waste more time on that. Let's do this engine. This is going to be size 9, but it will also be 175. Will you look at that? Perfect fit. You know what we could do? We could even tweak the fire control, because it doesn't need to be 9,000 kilometers per second. It only needs to be like 8,000 kilometers per second. How much space would we save with that? And I'll do this in Space Master, because in reality, this is something that might have been coordinated a bit more. Okay, so we have this, which is 300 tons. But we could kind of do 270 tons, so we'd save 30 tons. You know what? That's just a bit more fuel. We don't need to sort of micromanage and micro-optimize that much. I'm happy with this. This seems like an adequate upgrade. So we have decent range, decent maintenance. We've basically just improved the speed. Yeah, so if we compare this to the previous design, the previous design was going at 5,600 kilometers per second. And now we have just basically gone up to almost 8,000 kilometers per second. So let's rename this class Polaris Ion. Let's obsolete the old one. Retool the Shipyard. And then we'll redesign those ships. Now, one thing we still need this jump drive. So let's just finish putting together the jump drive, and then we'll start putting together the other ship that we want to use. All right, Aldebaran 2 can't do its orders. It is doing a geo survey in Majuro. Perhaps it is done. Let's take a look. Well, it looks like it's almost done. Maybe it can't reach these two. All right, let's take a look in the Majuro system itself. Here's the Aldebaran 2. Now it doesn't want to go to where doesn't it want to go? Or perhaps it will go, it just queued it up and hasn't gone there yet. No, it hasn't. So where are these? Oh, it's 8. It's not even the one that's furthest out. Oh, it's over here? Come on. You went all the way out here. You can definitely survey that. All right. But we can definitely look at the system, see what was found. Corundium. Corbamite neutronium. Nice gas giant for fuel. I think we actually looked at the inner system here, but we were missing these outer planets. So let's take a look down here. Bornite, Sorium, okay. Another moon here, not much. Another gas giant, not great. And a small moon. Okay, so nothing much has changed here in our assessment of this system. Okay, we have discovered a new system which connects to Singapore, the N'Djamena system. N'Djamena, not that, N'Djamena. All right. What is in the system? We've got pretty small star. So why don't we start with a geosurvey? See how we feel about the system. The domain says hello, hello, hello to you. Okay, one of our jump stabilization ships made it back to Earth. We were going to put ion engines on it, so let's do that. Let's close some of these windows, which I've let pile up. All right, the Aldebaran 1 and 8 are, really? The Aldebaran 8? Oh, we're at Earth. So the 3 is being overhauled, but it needs to, well, okay, let's detach. It's still in overhaul. But the 8 now, oh, they've been refit, but they still need to finish their overhaul. Gotcha. Okay, so that means we can take these shipyards. We got to repair the 3. And then is there anything we can refit here? We can refit the 6. Perfect. Okay, the colony ships have been refit to the new ion drive specifications, so they are going to resume their work, which is mostly take people from Mars and bring them to Georgetown. And then head back and maybe refuel. Meanwhile, how's Luna doing in terms of terraforming? Oh boy. Oh no, it's okay. I thought we overran things with water. We're doing okay. But you know what? Let's switch over and get our nitrogen in the atmosphere, which we need to do at some point anyways. We're going to need 0.24 roughly. Okay, I appear to have made a mistake with, I underestimated the size of the Georgetown system, so these guys are basically out of fuel. Maybe I screwed up their orders, because this doesn't look quite right. Oh, they're close. I'm going to turn this tanker around, because we might need your services here. Remove all, go here. Refuel from colony. And, let's do that. Oh boy. Folks, take a look at the event log. We found aliens in the Gemena system, the least pronounceable to me system, of course. Okay. So we have found aliens down here. Now let's take a closer look. I was doing a geological survey. And it appears they are from this planet. And Gemena 2. Which is a terrestrial cold desert liquid methane. So methane breathers. Okay. That is interesting. All right, so the first thing that I want to see if we can do is, in my last playthrough, Diplo wasn't really working. So let's see if we can, if it is working now. So we're going to build a Diplo ship. And we're going to do that with a new shipyard. So we're going to do Naval Shipyard Complex. We'll build it right after the fuel base gets built. Okay. Now this ship, this diplomatic ship, will be I'll use the survey ship kind of chassis as a basis for it. Now we still need to finish this research to make our jump ships, a possibility. But we need to start thinking about, another thing I want to try to do successfully here is, assuming diplomacy kind of works, let's get some intelligence. Let's do ELINT and things like that. So those are going to be the next things we are going to try to research. Hey, French Ferret, we have just discovered some aliens. Oh, what do they look like? They look like sword robots. Excellent. And the theme for their ships is going to be German destroyers. So these are going to be German sword robots. Fantastic. I just found them. Like just now. Okay, so actually the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this ship here and politely head back into our system. And although it'll be boring, we're actually going to have it just kind of chill at the jump point to monitor traffic to see if anything else comes through. Now, conveniently, we've stabilized right up until the border with them. Now, what was going on in Singapore, and can we use, what's the geography here, and can we use Singapore as a forward base? So let's take a look. Actually, first, let's just take a look at Elayun. Okay, this is actually a pretty small system, so this is not a long travel distance. So we come in from Yaren, we go to Singapore. It's pretty convenient to refuel midway through, and we're actually towing some fuel harvesters to Layoon 1. So this is a great refueling station. Now, once you get to Singapore, what happens? Oh, this is very close. Interesting. Okay, so the distances here are very short. So logistics is going to be very interesting. We're going to try diplomacy because I want to see if it works. Okay, and this is a small system too. Okay, so guys, logistics is going to be pretty easy, except in the sense that we're going to have to get from Seoul to Layoon, which is so Seoul to Yaren is actually, we can jump a long distance. Now, what about Yaren itself? I don't think we can shorten that anyway. Yeah, not much we can do. Still, the logistics shouldn't be too bad. All right, in Singapore, like our ships will come out of this jump point, and then if we wanted to go to the aliens, we just travel right across here. Now, if we were to set up, a colony here in Singapore, I'm not sure if that is worth it, or if we just use Layoon. No, because there's still a distance to be traveled here. So the distance here is like less than 1 billion. And then in Singapore, it's even more. So Layoon is actually closer through the jump point than, the core of the Singapore system. Now, that doesn't mean it's not worth setting up something here. Let's take a quick look if we have... What do we have on this planet here? Yeah, not much. This is the Mega Swamp. So there's a dwarf planet. I mean, we can colonize, we can terraform it, but it'll just hold people. So what this tells me, what this makes me want to do, is we are going to, we're going to push for diplomacy and all that, but we're going to try to develop Layoon into a more robust military kind of staging ground, which means we're going to move a lot of maintenance facilities there and things like that, so we can keep a fleet presence in Layoon. And I think the other thing I'd like to play around with is deploying sort of a forward station, so that we can park a station like in the Singapore system with a small military detachment. But the main fleet could still be headquartered in Layoon. It doesn't all have to be there. So those are kind of the things I would like to aim for in terms of playing around with things in this campaign. So what that means in terms of our research priorities, well, okay, our immediate priority hasn't changed. We still have to design and build this jump ship, which is going to be our other battlecruiser. Our military is pretty anemic, so we definitely need to make progress there. So we need to design and start building that ship. Then we need to design like a diplomacy ship, some ELINT capability, maybe. And then we're going to need to do some research in logistics, get these maintenance modules and things like that going, refueling hub, ordnance transfer stations, all that stuff. and we're going to try to put together some deep space logistics, because that's a new thing that you can do now, and if for no other reason than that, I want to play around with that. So that is the idea. And by the way, thanks to all the people who have recently subscribed who are interested in this Aurora content. I'm glad people are liking it. Okay, pretty exciting. The Georgetown cargo is out of fuel. Let's just... Oh wait, did the tanker join yet? No. Okay, let's just remove all the orders so it stops complaining about not having enough fuel. Now, actually, one thing we're going to do is we're going to switch... we've been sending colonists from Mars to Georgetown because we wanted to develop that colony. It's not that I don't want to develop that colony anymore, but we need to prioritize the development of Elayun because it's going to have to handle a lot of maintenance duties. And in addition... Yeah, these are modern freighters, right? Good. I'm going to try... I'm going to see... I don't know if it can handle this, but can we use civilian shipping to move a spaceport? We're going to try... Oh, I put one here, but what I meant was spaceport. We're gonna try. Oh no, guys. Look what happened. They just shot missiles at us right away. Okay. Well, maybe diplomacy isn't gonna work out. Oh, geez. Maybe they're just not into being friendly, you know? Look, we're gonna try. We're gonna try to talk to them. Now, actually, hang on. We need... this is a problem, because we need... If they're gonna come in guns blazing, we need to know ahead of time. So, we do need to send another ship. The Aldebaran 3, I think, is ready. No, it still needs to overhaul. Alright, finish your overhaul then. I know, right? The Polaris shipyard has finished its refit, so we can now refit these ships. Oh, the Georgetown here, they're moved. I had cycle orders for some reason. Okay, I think it's handled that little error gracefully. Okay, North Star 3 is ready. I think we send it north to like Port Vila, Ankara. Is there anything to stabilize in the Georgetown system? Distances aren't too big, to tell you the truth. There is a Lagrange point for Georgetown 7. Most of the distance here is... This is a small system. It's not worth it. Okay. Just checking. Let's stabilize to Ankara. Okay. All right, we built a third fuel harvesting base. We're sending 2 of them out to El Ayoun. In fact, they should be getting there one day. How are the tugs doing? These are the old tugs. Conveniently, we're tugging fuel harvesting bases that had fuel on them, so we're not going to run out of fuel. But it is, we've got another, 2 years before we get there. God, these tugs are so slow. We're building new tugs actually, and I might just send the new tugs and have them take over. That'd be funny. How are the new tugs doing? 78% complete. They'll be ready in February 42. It's October 41. Yeah, that might be the thing. Yeah, I don't know where I'll put this third fuel harvesting base. It might not be in the front lines. We might put it back near... well, there's no place in Georgetown. We don't really have a gas giant here, do we? No, we've got like solid sorium somewhere. I think that's it. We'll find a place for it in the... Actually, why don't we just quickly take a look here. Sorium... Let's just... Managua, Majuro, Colombo. A little far. Budapest. Okay, but this is solid. This is all... Oh, yeah, no, this is solid. So in terms of just a fuel harvesting station, it might be out east to support, the Lima colony and things like that. Like in Managua or something like that. We'll see. We'll decide later. Oh, this reminds me. We had a little experiment going. Okay. Interesting. So it does work. So for some reason in this version of the game, I'm not sure if this is working as intended, but the civilian and my imperial colony kind of merged. The civilian complexes are mining, but they weren't adding anything to the stockpiles, and they're just giving me income. I moved some automated mines to the colony, and they are generating a stockpile. So that's good. So it means I can mine this at whatever rate I want, and if I want, I can also purchase the civilian production. So that's nice to know. It's nice to know that that's kind of functioning. Actually, let me take a look quickly at the mining situation on Earth. What do my ships require? Gallicite? A lot of gallicite. Duranium, obviously. but a lot of gallicite and a decent amount of iridium. Yeah, decent amount of gallicite. So how are we doing on gallicite on Earth? We mined a lot. And actually, I think we have a few colonies that have available gallicite, so this shouldn't be too big of an issue. But let's double check. Excuse me. Georgetown has gallicite, although we haven't colonized Georgetown 4, but we could. Taipei. Lima has a trickle of gallicite. We've got some civilian colonies on some comets that have some gallicite, so we'll be fine. Oh, Luna has some gallicite, not a lot. Alright, we can always buy it from the civilians if we run out. Okay, we finished the jump drive efficiency research, which means we can now design our big old jump engine. Close enough. Okay, February 42, that'll take a couple of months. We added a slipyard, slipyard somewhere. Where was it? At Schwartzberg. Ah, this is for my tankers. And another slipway was added at Marin. I don't have Marin. I misread that. Marsh. Ah, this is where we're upgrading freighters. Oh, we're not, we stopped upgrading freighters. Guys, get to work, please. Denebs to Deneb ions. Oh, we don't have any idle freighters. Okay, let's fix that. These guys have been updated. These guys, I think, need to be updated. Yeah. All right, so we'll have these guys. Oh, perfect. They're on their way into Seoul. Great timing. So turn off cycle. Remove. Just go and refuel at Earth. Perfect timing. So cargo east can chill at Earth while it gets refit. Okay, the North Star 2 stabilized the Venus Lagrange point. And so it is now done. That took a very long time. We'll move it to Earth and then we'll give it ion engines. And after that, I have some plans for this civilian shipyard. Okay, the Aldebaran 1 has completed its overhaul, so is it ready to go? Yeah, it is, because the 3 is still doing... Okay, so the Aldebaran 1, you need to go be a picket out in the Singapore system. because I need to know if stuff is about to come through and kill us all. Oh no, guys. I misclicked somewhere. And I refit my troop transport into a tanker. Oops. Let's roll with it and just oh no, I can't. God, that's so annoying. Okay, we're gonna need more shipyards, I think is the answer. Well, we have one incoming. I'm gonna need another commercial shipyard in addition to that one. All right. And the reason actually the two things happen at the same time. If you look at the event log here, is that a bunch of my garrisons finished training, which is great. And then I was like, good, I'll send them over to Georgetown, because I have a second colony in Georgetown. But then on the same turn, it says Gemini was refitted to Kappa, which is not what we wanted. Okay, we're going to have to deal with that. Okay, so there's a few projects. I'm going to... Hang on, let me do something quickly here. Just a moment. We're going to wrap up the stream here in just a moment because I got to go make dinner. Just give me a second here. Okay. I need to make some notes so I don't forget all the different plans that we have in mind. So, in terms of our military, in terms of the Navy, we are refitting the Polaris, and then we build more. That's fine. We're building Betelgeuse, and we need to design the BC, the jump Battlecruiser / leadership thing, whatever. Okay, so, and there's a bit more tech that needs to happen for that. Now, in terms of ground forces, the thought that just occurred to me, we have like a civilian garrison, which is mostly for keeping the peace, but I'd like to design an STO with the quad laser PD and put some of those in Elayun. Okay. Logistics. We need to kind of set up Elayun, I forget how it's spelled, to be naval base. We need a MSP cargo ship. We need a collier. Which I hadn't thought of. We need a new troop transport. like we need a shipyard for it. Okay. Then we also wanted to do like a deep space logistics hub to have a small fleet presence there. Okay. We wanted to build a we wanted to get a Diplo ship based on the Aldebaran chassis. We want to put Elint somewhere. I don't know where we're going to do that. On what ship we're going to do that. And then I think let me add this here. We're going to want to add some long-range missile capability to our Navy. So we're going to design at some point in the future some kind of missile cruiser or destroyer. But that'll be later. The other thing I want to do is convert the big North Star JCS shipyard to an even bigger asteroid mining ship. A shipyard, if that makes sense. And then we also want to probably move financials and labs, question mark, to Luna or Mars. To Mars. Because Luna has minerals, so we'll probably want to have the people there mining. This is to free up workers for the shipyards. Okay. I think that's it. I'm just like, I don't want to, because I mean, I'll hopefully I'll stream later tonight, but there's a lot of things going on, and when you're playing, you kind of remember, although honestly, you do tend to forget things even as you're playing. So it's good to make some notes. Oh, one thing I should double check, because this does come to bite me in the bum often, is the sort of civilian status here of these colonies. So in particular, yeah, this is a stable, not a destination or a source. This could be a source of colonists. And honestly, Luna can also be a source of colonists. Earth maybe just needs to grow because we have a bit of a worker shortage. So all the colony ships that are populating Georgetown and things like that. So Georgetown actually should be... I mean, yeah, I still want it to grow. All these colonies need to grow. This is fine. We'll just kind of empty out. I mean, because Luna and Mars are growing at a decent rate. Oh, Luna is not growing at a fast rate because it doesn't have enough infrastructure. Well, that'll be fixed soon with the terraforming. Okay. Did I start terraforming here? Yes. Okay. We're trying to warm up this planet. Okay. And let me just write down then, just so I don't lose track of what I'm terraforming. So Luna, Georgetown 6, and El Ayun. I'm going to spell it differently every time I write it. It's two A's. A-A-I-U-N. Okay. L-I-U-N. All right. Here. It's still 200 degrees Celsius on the surface, guys. We need some serious AC. We're working on it. We're working on it, guys. Okay. So that's going to be it for now. These are my notes. These are things I have to do next time. I'm not sure. I might be back this evening in a few hours. Maybe if not that, it'll be tomorrow. Thank you all for watching and participating and for all your questions and your feedback. I will try to... I do get around to the comments that people post on the old videos. And in fact, thank you to Res and others too who posted some comments and things that I was doing earlier on. It was in a previous game, but there were mistakes that I made, or things that I wasn't aware of. Some things I was aware of and I fixed later, but some things I wasn't aware of. So it does help. So definitely, if you notice something and if you're wondering why I'm doing it this way instead of another way, maybe it's because I know better, but maybe it's because I don't and I'm an idiot. And so it's important that you tell me these things. All right. See you guys later. Thanks for watching. Take care.